So they say to put drop cloth all the way around so that you don't have elastomeric spilling over the edge. You can see where it spilled over the edge, or something spilled over the edge, some other sealant. But I've got a rain gutter here. I don't have a rain gutter here, and I definitely don't have a rain gutter in the front. So we're not gonna tarp the sides. We're just gonna tarp the front and tarp the rear. I don't know why I was ever so worried about walking around on this. I mean, yes, it is old, and I am heavy as hell, and that just crumpled under my foot. But this thing has a bed attached here. A bed that's supposed to be able to support 2 people. And part of its structural integrity is dependent on this roof being solid. So I'm not too worried about the roof. Especially now, I mean, I shouldn't say I've been worried about it for months, but now that I'm up here and I've really put some thought into it, it's really not that big a deal. Oh, this is going to take forever. Let's shut these glasses off. And of course, see, I went ahead and painted these not because, not that one, that's always going to be hot. It's the fridge vent that lets heat out. Not because I did them with a brush. I should have done them with this roller that's doing a way better job. Not because they leak, but because I want them to stay cooler. And this stuff is also supposed to lower the temperature in your place by as much as 20 degrees, they claim. Whether or not that's true, well, we'll see, but I'm sure it can, under the proper conditions, lower it as much as 20. But generally, it's just going to definitely lower it some. Just the fact that it's white and reflective. You know, it's called KoolSeal for a reason. So, what I was getting at, the reason I turn these back on is when you do this, you really want to think it through and make sure that you don't paint yourself where you can't get out. Even as it is, I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to get myself and the bucket down. I'll probably put the lid back on the bucket. I got it up here so I can get it down. Half tempted to just set the bucket on there and leave it up there all night. Now, as I've said on here many times before, I can't paint for shit. Luckily this isn't paint. A lot of, if this camera shows up close enough, a lot of what you see that looks like a run, that's not really a run. That was where some old roofing material was on there and I just painted over it. And some of it is runs. Not really though. I was pretty good about that. But here's where I screwed up. At first I was only going to do the top. And then when I touched this metal and saw how hot it was compared to the roof that actually felt cold to the touch, I said I've got to come down farther. So I decided to come down, but the thing is, and here's where I screwed up. Well, aside, I also screwed up when I put those lights on. I also screwed up trying to record when a siren goes by. Sure, that's a little annoying. I should have got bigger lights, but the bigger lights would have cost about twice as much. And if you saw my other video, I had to take butyl tape and kind of work it around like Play-Doh to make those things sit flush-ish. I don't even want to call them flush because they're not. Just to make them sit flush-ish and be sealed. But I didn't scrub this down. I did scrub the whole top, and that you'll probably see that in the video, but I didn't scrub this little part here. And you can see where there's a layer there that wants to come off already. I don't want this to start, you know, peeling off and take my whole roof with it. So I'll come up later with a razor blade or something and take care of that. But I'm not sure if it's going to stay on the front. I also screwed up on the front. The top I did 1 coat each day for 3 days. That where it looks like it dripped, that's where somebody had dripped some sort of old sealant years ago that I couldn't scrape off. It's not actual drips. I just had to paint over the silicone crap, or it's tougher than silicone. I don't know what it was. Anyhow, this may not last as long as the top. We did all 3 coats in 1 day on this, and the same with the back, which we're gonna go look at now. And before it was bare metal, and I figure it can't look any worse, right? So, sorry about the generator. I've got the air conditioner going, so that's probably a little bit loud, but we did the same thing back here on the back, and we did all 3 coats in 1 day. And this is facing north, so it's not getting, I'll scrape that off with a razor blade later, that's nothing. But this side isn't getting, if we get a few more warm days, I have a couple gallons left. I may coat it again, but I didn't prepare the surface on the front or the back. I didn't even wash them. So I don't know how they're gonna hold down, but the roof should be just fine. I've got 3 coats on there. First one went this way, the second coat went that way, and then with the third coat we went this way again. The only thing I can think of that's going to make a better seal than all of that would have been something like truck bed liner, rhino linings. They have something they call Eco Coat that they'll spray on your motorhome. I don't know what it costs, probably at least $1,000, maybe several thousand for a bigger one. But it's supposed to have like a 30-year guarantee. Or you could just buy some truck bed liner, some roll-on truck bed liner, and do it yourself. That was my first thought with this. But I really I'm so sick of being hot all the time. If you guys know me, I hate the frickin' heat. And I really wanted to cool this off. So everybody said KoolSeal was the best elastomeric besides Dicor. It was kind of a tie on those two, and KoolSeal was about 1/3 cheaper. Dicor required a primer, and when you count in the cost of the primer, that actually makes the Dicor almost twice as much. Now this is an old roof. There's places with dents. There's places where water pools up. We've got another slightly warm day tomorrow, and then it's supposed to rain tomorrow night. So this will have a full 24 hours to cure. The top, again, I did the 3 coats each on a separate day, but the front and the back, I don't know. That was a last minute kind of spur of the moment thing, and hopefully it'll hold up. Here's one of those examples. This is not a run. There's actually crap from the previous owner that they dripped. I don't know where or why, and I just painted over it. I'm not going to get in there with a file and a scraper or fucking razor blade or something and scrape it off. Do whatever you want. Don't let anyone tell you you can't. Be ready for El Nino, and stay cool. That's the name of the stuff. I didn't actually, I was going to say stay cool, and then I realized, oh wait, that's literally the name of the stuff. Now we get to put the solar panels on. So stay cool's been laid down. Give it time to cure, and maybe next week we'll start in on the solar panels. We got rain coming the next few days, so no point starting right now. And then I'm sure I'll run into some sort of problem with them. We'll figure it out. I decided to get up here and dry this off anyway. I wanted to give you all a closer look. So the stuff has dried underneath it, but I want to give it as much completely dry time in the sun as possible. I don't really see any other wet spots, just these couple here. My rain gutters seem clean enough. I could come through and straighten them out a little bit, but yeah, even with that little bit of water on there overnight, it's still, the coating is still on there. It had plenty of time to dry, which means I'm not worried about the rain tonight.